She said, "I want a baby. Can you help?" I replied, "I'm going to be a father." It was a place of progress, of technology that promised solutions to every problem. Yet life could still surprise even the most cautious person. For Aaron Patel, a genetic engineer working in one of the city's leading biolabs, today seemed ordinary until a knock at his apartment door changed everything. He wasn't expecting anyone. His apartment, cluttered with books, genetic diagrams, and half-completed projects, felt unusually quiet. The knock came again, firmer this time. Aaron frowned, wondering who could possibly visit without notice in a city governed by strict ID scans and security protocols. Opening the door, he found her standing there. She was tall, with sharp features, dark hair falling in waves over her shoulders, and eyes that seemed to hold secrets he wasn't supposed to know. She smiled faintly. "Aaron Patel?" she asked. Her voice was calm but carried a strange urgency. "Yes," he said cautiously. "Can I help you?" "I hope so," she replied. I need a child and I need your help." Aaron blinked. His mind froze for a moment, trying to process what she had just said. A child, his help. "I'm sorry, I don't understand. Do you mean a genetic consultation?" She shook her head slowly. "Not just consultation. I need your DNA. I want a child and you are the father." For a moment, Aaron couldn't speak. He had worked with DNA every day, designed synthetic sequences, improved human resilience, and studied the genetics of rare diseases. But never had anyone asked him this. Never in his life. "You want me to be a father?" he finally said, his voice barely above a whisper. "Yes," she said simply, as if this were the most natural thing in the world. "I know it's sudden, but I don't have much time. My colony, my people, we're running out of options. You're the only one who can help." Aaron stepped back into his apartment, gesturing for her to enter. He had questions, many questions, but he didn't know where to start. "Your colony," he repeated. "What are you talking about?" She followed him inside, her expression unreadable. "I come from a hidden human settlement," she explained. "We've been experimenting with evolution. Our goal is to create humans who can survive extreme conditions, who can adapt faster, live longer, think better. But our latest generation is failing. Without new DNA, our children won't survive." Aaron's mind raced. Hidden settlements, genetic experiments, failing generations. It sounded like science fiction, yet she spoke with a sincerity that made him hesitate. "Why me?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "There are thousands of scientists who could help." Her eyes softened. "Because you have something unique. Your DNA carries rare traits, resilience to genetic decay, adaptability, immune strength. You may not even know it, but it's perfect for what we need." He swallowed hard, feeling a mixture of fear and fascination. He had always believed in helping people, in pushing the boundaries of science, but this was beyond anything he had imagined. "Do you understand the consequences?" he asked carefully. "This isn't just a lab experiment. This is a life." She nodded. "I know. And I don't take it lightly. But I promise you, this child will not just survive, it could change the future of humanity." Aaron took a deep breath and leaned against the edge of his lab desk. "I need to think," he said, though part of him already knew he was unlikely to walk away. The woman studied him quietly, her presence strangely calming despite the weight of her request. "I understand, but I hope you won't take too long. Time is not on our side." Over the next few hours, Aaron questioned her. She told him about her people's history, about the hidden colony buried beneath the surface of an abandoned mountain range, shielded from the rest of humanity. They were scientists, philosophers, and explorers, all dedicated to improving human evolution. But in their pursuit of perfection, they had made mistakes. Children were being born with severe weaknesses, unable to survive past early childhood. "We need a new start," she said. "A child with your DNA could be the beginning of a new generation, strong, resilient, capable of solving problems we can't even imagine yet." Aaron listened, his skepticism warring with his curiosity. The ethical challenges were immense. Could he really give his DNA to someone he barely knew? Could he trust her? And even if he did, could humanity handle what might come next? But beneath the fear, a spark of excitement ignited. For years, he had dreamed of pushing the limits of science, of being part of something larger than himself. Here was an opportunity, not just to help a single life, but potentially to shape the future of an entire branch of humanity. "I need proof," he said finally. "I need to see your colony. I need to understand the science and the people involved. If I'm going to do this, I have to know it's real." Her face lit up with a mix of relief and hope. "I can take you there, but you must be discreet. The world outside must not know of us. Not yet." The next day, Aaron followed her to a location far from the city, beyond checkpoints, beyond the familiar urban sprawl. They traveled in a small, silent vehicle that glided over the terrain, eventually arriving at a hidden entrance camouflaged against the mountainside. Inside, the colony was unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. It was a blend of technology and nature. Sleek labs illuminated with soft blue light, greenhouses full of experimental plants, and children playing in spaces designed to stimulate rapid learning and adaptation. Scientists moved with purpose, monitoring growth, analyzing data, adjusting genetic sequences in real time. He watched as one child completed a complex puzzle in minutes, while another navigated a simulated survival scenario flawlessly. The potential was staggering, but so was the weight of responsibility. These were real lives, not just experiments. The woman guided him through the colony, explaining the current crisis. "Our latest generation carries a flaw in their cognitive genes," she said. "Without intervention, they will not reach adulthood. This is why your DNA is crucial." Aaron nodded slowly, absorbing everything. He felt a mix of fear, awe, and an unexpected sense of duty. He realized that if he refused, he might be condemning a generation to extinction. But if he agreed, he was taking a step into unknown territory, with consequences he couldn't predict. That night, as he lay in a small guest room within the colony, Aaron stared at the ceiling, thinking. He had always believed that humans were capable of incredible things: courage, creativity, survival against impossible odds. And now, he had the chance to be part of something extraordinary. Morning came, and with it, the weight of decision. The woman entered his room quietly. "Have you thought about it?" she asked gently. Aaron took a deep breath. "I have," he said finally. "And I think I want to help, but I need rules, boundaries. I need to understand every risk, every step. I can't just give my DNA blindly." She smiled, relief washing over her features. "That's all I ask: guidance, care. You will be more than a donor. You will be a father in every sense of the word." And for the first time, Aaron felt a strange sense of purpose, a connection to something far greater than himself. He didn't yet know the full consequences of his choice, but for now, he had taken the first step. The journey had begun. The morning sun filtered through the translucent walls of the colony's observation dome, painting the lab in soft shades of gold. Aaron had spent the night thinking, walking through endless possibilities, weighing risk against duty. He had never imagined that a single decision could carry such weight. The chance to shape the next generation of humanity pressed on him like a physical force. The woman, whose name he now knew was Lyra, waited for him in the central lab. Her presence was calm, yet urgent, as though she had been holding her breath for days, hoping he would choose to stay. "Aaron," she said, her voice quiet but firm, "I know what I'm asking is extraordinary, but please understand we are running out of time. Our children are failing faster than we predicted. If we do not act, their generation will end before it truly begins." He nodded, trying to steady his thoughts. "I understand," he said, "but the risks, you don't know what my DNA could do. What if the child develops problems we cannot control?" Lyra led him to a section of the lab filled with glowing biocontainment pods, each holding a tiny, growing child. Sensors hummed softly, scanning neural activity, cellular growth, and vital signs. Aaron noticed subtle differences in each pod. The children here were stronger, faster, smarter than normal, yet all carried delicate fragility. These children, Lyra explained, were created from our previous generations. You can see the progress and the failures. Some thrive, some do not. We need a new foundation, and your DNA could give us that. Aaron walked between the pods, his heart heavy. Each child represented hope and fragility, a delicate balance that science alone could not guarantee. I've worked with DNA for years, he said, but never like this. We are talking about creating a life that might outgrow us, change the world. Are you prepared for that? Lyra met his gaze steadily. I am, and you will be too once you see the potential. This is more than survival, it is evolution. Aaron's mind raced. He had always believed in the power of human ingenuity. He had celebrated breakthroughs, solved impossible problems, and seen the ways humans could adapt in crisis. But this was personal. It was not a test tube or a computer model. It was a living, breathing future. You need my DNA, he said slowly. But I need to understand exactly what this child will be. I need guarantees. Lyra's eyes softened, though the intensity remained. I cannot guarantee the future, she said honestly. No one can, but we can guide it, monitor it, nurture it. You will not be alone. Every step will be controlled, every risk minimized. We will not create a child blindly. Aaron looked around the lab again, watching a small boy solve a complex puzzle before the system could even finish generating it. He saw a girl adjusting to a simulation in seconds, her mind absorbing patterns faster than any normal child could. And yet he also saw pods where growth faltered, where cells failed to develop as intended. Life here was fragile, precious, and unpredictable. I will help, he said finally, though his voice was tight. But I want full involvement, every step, every decision. If we do this, it's not just your experiment, it's my child too. Lyra's face lit up with relief. Agreed. You will be a father, Aaron, not just biologically but fully. You will guide this child's life, help shape its growth, and protect it from harm. Over the next few days, Aaron was immersed in the colony's work. He learned about their advanced incubation techniques, the way artificial intelligence monitored growth, and the delicate balance of genetics and environment. The colony had created children faster than normal human development, using AI-assisted learning pods and accelerated neural growth protocols. But these methods, while powerful, were unforgiving. One mistake, one miscalculation, could mean tragedy. Aaron was both fascinated and terrified. He had always loved science, but now science was asking him to trust in life itself, to become part of a process he could not fully control. Lyra guided him to a small, private lab where the process would begin. This is where we will prepare your contribution, she explained. We will extract what is necessary, carefully integrate it, and begin the incubation. Everything is monitored. We have backups, safeguards, but you must understand there are no certainties. Aaron studied the instruments, sterile, precise, and humming with quiet energy. He ran his fingers over the controls, imagining the consequences. If anything went wrong, it could not only endanger the child but also affect the colony's fragile trust in him. What about the society outside? He asked. What if anyone discovers this? People are afraid of uncontrolled genetic experiments. There will be questions and laws. Lyra nodded. We are hidden. The outside world cannot interfere. We operate beyond the eyes of the public, but that is why time is short. Once the child is created, we must be careful in choosing how and when to reveal it. You will be part of that decision. Aaron felt the enormity of responsibility pressing on him. He had wanted to make a difference, but this was more than difference. It was shaping life itself. And yet, despite the fear, there was a spark inside him that could not be denied. He wanted to help. He wanted to believe in the possibilities. "Show me the procedure," he said finally. "I want to understand everything before we begin." Lyra led him through the steps with meticulous care. They discussed the extraction of his DNA, the precise integration into a specially engineered embryo, and the monitoring systems that would track growth, health, and cognitive development. Each step was designed to minimize risk while maximizing potential. "You will not just provide DNA," Lyra explained. "You will guide its development, neural stimulation, environmental enrichment, even moral and ethical guidance. You will be involved in shaping the child's mind, not just its body." Aaron nodded, his resolve strengthening. He had spent years studying the potential of humans, and now he was about to become part of that potential in the most personal way possible. The night before the procedure, Aaron could not sleep. He walked through the colony quietly, observing children in their pods, watching their progress. He felt a strange connection forming, a sense of responsibility that was immediate and deep. Each child represented a possibility, a chance for humanity to evolve beyond its limitations, and the child he would help create could be the next step. He found Lyra in the observation dome, staring at the skyline of the hidden city beyond. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. Aaron hesitated, considering the weight of his decision. "I think so," he said finally. "I know there are risks, I know there are unknowns, but I believe we can do this. We have to try." Lyra smiled, a mix of relief and gratitude. "Then tomorrow we begin, and Aaron, thank you. You are giving more than your DNA. You are giving hope." As the first light of dawn touched the lab, Aaron felt both fear and excitement. He was stepping into uncharted territory, carrying the responsibility for life itself. But beneath the fear, a quiet confidence grew. Humanity had always faced challenges and triumphed through courage, creativity, and perseverance. And now, Aaron would play his part in proving once again that humans were capable of extraordinary things. The next day, the procedure began. Aaron was fully involved, watching every step, ensuring that his DNA was carefully prepared and integrated. Advanced AI systems guided them, checking every sequence, every cellular interaction. Lyra was calm but focused, her hands steady as she oversaw the process. Hours passed. The lab hummed with energy. Screens displayed growth patterns, neural development, and genetic stability. Aaron observed the embryo carefully, noting the subtle signs of health and resilience. And as the first successful integration completed, a new life flickered into existence, a tiny spark of possibility, a child born from science, hope, and human courage. Aaron felt a profound connection to the tiny being. This was not just an experiment, not just DNA. This was life, fragile, precious, and full of potential. And as he held Lyra's hand and gazed at the embryo, he knew that their journey had only begun. The impossible choice had been made, and now they had to protect, guide, and nurture what they had created. Outside the lab, the hidden colony continued its quiet work, unaware of the extraordinary potential growing within its walls. And within Aaron, a sense of purpose burned brightly. Humanity had always faced impossible odds, and somehow it had always survived. And now, for the first time, he felt the weight and wonder of contributing to the next chapter. For Aaron, the impossible choice had become reality, and the future was waiting. The colony's lab was quiet, except for the gentle hum of machines monitoring the embryo's growth. Aaron watched intently as Lyra adjusted the neural stimulation interface, her hands moving with practiced precision. Every screen, every sensor, every tiny movement of light and energy was carefully calibrated to ensure the success of the process. "This is it," Lyra said softly, her eyes fixed on the glowing pod. "This is where potential becomes reality." Aaron nodded, though his heart thumped with a mixture of excitement and fear. The embryo, his child, their child, was only a few days into development, yet he felt a deep connection already. He understood the science, the probability charts, and the contingency plans, but nothing could fully prepare him for the reality of watching life begin under such extraordinary circumstances. The AI assistant in the lab, a soft-spoken program named Eno, scanned the embryo and reported all systems stable, growth rate optimal, neural activity beginning. Aaron exhaled slowly. "That's good," he murmured, yet the sense of responsibility weighed heavily. This was no longer just a lab experiment. This was a life he was responsible for, a future he could help shape or accidentally ruin. Over the next few days, Aaron immersed himself completely in the experiment. He monitored every heartbeat, every cellular division, every synaptic spark. The embryo's neural pathways were developing faster than expected, showing early signs of remarkable intelligence. The AI noted patterns that even Aaron had never seen in normal human development. "It's unusual," Aaron said to Lyra one evening, his eyes glued to the monitors. "The neural growth, these patterns, it's beyond normal parameters. Faster, yes, but also more organized. It's almost like the embryo is learning before it's even born." Lyra studied the screens carefully. "I noticed that too," she admitted. "It's exactly why your DNA was crucial. Your resilience and cognitive adaptability are showing already. This child may develop abilities beyond anything we can fully anticipate." Aaron felt a shiver of awe mixed with worry. He had always believed in human potential, in resilience and ingenuity, but seeing it manifest so early was astonishing and terrifying. What if the child's development went beyond their control? What if society, if it ever discovered the child, reacted with fear or hostility? For now, however, the colony remained hidden, their sanctuary safe. Aaron spent his days observing, testing, and interacting with the developing mind through the neural interface. It was subtle at first, a pattern recognition exercise, a small stimulation, but the embryo responded with rapid and precise activity. It was learning at a speed no ordinary human could match. "You're doing fine," Aaron whispered during one session, a smile tugging at his lips. "You're going to be amazing." Lyra watched him from across the lab, noticing the way his expression softened when he spoke. "You're bonding already," she said quietly. "Even before birth, that connection will help guide the child's development." "Emotion is as important as science here." Aaron nodded, realizing she was right. He had always approached science with logic and precision, but this was different. This required heart, intuition, and patience, the kind of human qualities that no AI or algorithm could fully replicate. As the days passed, unexpected complications began to emerge. Small fluctuations in the embryo's growth patterns appeared on the monitors. At first, they were subtle, minor anomalies that Eno flagged as within acceptable limits. But then, one evening, Aaron noticed a spike in neural activity far beyond expected ranges. "Lyra, look at this," he said, pointing at the screens. "The brain activity, it's spiking. Faster than the models predicted. Could this be stress?" Lyra frowned, tapping her tablet as the AI analyzed the data. "No, not stress. This is learning adaptation. The embryo is responding to stimuli faster than anything we've tested. It's extraordinary." Aaron's excitement battled with his anxiety. He had hoped for a strong, resilient child, but this level of development was unprecedented. He had read about accelerated growth in theoretical models, but seeing it happen in real time was overwhelming. "We need to be careful," Aaron said. "This could be beyond our control. If we push too hard, we might break the balance, or worse, create a problem we can't solve." Lyra nodded. "Agreed, but we can't slow it down. This is the unique potential your DNA brought. We have to guide it, not limit it." For the next few weeks, Aaron and Lyra worked around the clock. They adjusted environmental stimuli, introduced controlled challenges, and monitored the embryo's responses. The AI provided real-time feedback, highlighting every new connection and developmental milestone. Despite their precautions, the embryo began showing signs of awareness earlier than expected. During one session, Aaron noticed a pattern of responses that resembled curiosity, neural spikes in reaction to visual and auditory simulations that were far more complex than necessary. "It's exploring," Aaron said in disbelief. "It's trying to understand, even at this stage." "How is that possible?" Lyra smiled, a mixture of pride and awe in her eyes. "This is why your DNA was chosen. We hoped for resilience and intelligence, but this is beyond what we imagined. Humanity has never seen anything like this." The realization settled over Aaron like a wave. They were not just creating a child, they were witnessing the beginning of something new. A human mind growing faster, learning earlier and absorbing knowledge at an unprecedented pace. Yet with progress came danger. The external monitoring systems detected subtle fluctuations in environmental energy usage, enough that a stray signal could, in theory, alert authorities. Aaron realized that the world outside their hidden sanctuary was not ready for this level of human evolution. If discovered prematurely, the project could be shut down or worse, destroyed. He discussed the risks with Lyra. "We need to be prepared. If anyone finds out what we're doing, we could lose everything. The child, the colony, all of it." Lyra's expression hardened. "I've thought about that. We have contingencies, hidden layers of security, AI camouflage, encrypted networks. But yes, we must be vigilant. This child's potential is too important to risk exposure." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility press down on him. He had entered this process with hope and curiosity, but now the stakes were clear. They were creating a child whose abilities could redefine humanity, and protecting that child would require every ounce of ingenuity and courage they had. Despite the pressure, moments of wonder emerged. One evening, Aaron conducted a neural simulation, presenting the embryo with a series of abstract patterns. Within minutes, the AI confirmed that the embryo had solved the puzzles, creating solutions no normal human infant could achieve. Aaron's breath caught. "It's thinking on its own," he whispered. "It's not just learning, it's creating." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "Yes. And that is why we must guide it carefully. Intelligence without guidance can be dangerous. But with the right nurture, this child could help humanity in ways we can't yet imagine." The weeks passed with intense focus. Aaron felt both exhausted and exhilarated. Every day brought new milestones, new surprises, and new lessons about the limits and the possibilities of human potential. He saw resilience, problem-solving, and emotional responsiveness emerge almost simultaneously. Through it all, Aaron and Lyra formed a deeper bond. They shared the weight of responsibility, celebrated each milestone, and supported each other through moments of doubt. For the first time, Aaron realized that this was not just science. It was collaboration, trust, and human connection at its most profound level. One night, as the lab was quiet and the embryo rested in its pod, Aaron spoke softly. "Lyra, do you think it will ever understand its own potential?" She looked at him, her eyes reflecting both hope and caution. "It will, eventually. But for now, it is learning to survive, to grow, to become what it is meant to be. And we are here to guide it every step of the way." Aaron nodded, a sense of pride and awe filling him. Humanity had always faced impossible challenges, and yet had always found a way to adapt and thrive. Now, in this hidden lab, he saw the next step of evolution taking shape before his eyes, a living testament to human resilience, intelligence, and courage. As he left the lab that night, he felt a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. The experiment had begun, and with it, the most profound journey of his life. The child's potential was extraordinary, the risks immense, and the responsibility unimaginable. But Aaron knew one thing clearly. Humanity had always risen to challenges, and this time would be no different. Outside, the city lights flickered faintly on the horizon, unaware of the life-changing work taking place in the hidden colony. Inside, Aaron looked at the glowing pod one last time before sleep, feeling a deep connection to the tiny being growing within it. He realized that the experiment was no longer just science. It was hope, and hope, he knew, was a force stronger than fear. And as the night settled over the colony, the child's neural patterns pulsed gently, learning, adapting, and growing, a living promise of humanity's next step. The lab was quiet, yet it thrummed with anticipation. Aaron moved carefully between the observation consoles, his eyes scanning every readout, every neural spike, every growth marker. The child, no longer just an embryo but now a fully formed infant in an advanced incubation pod, was surpassing every expectation. Aaron's heart raced. He had spent weeks watching the child develop, noting the accelerated cognitive growth and extraordinary adaptability. But tonight, something different was happening. The infant's neural activity spiked in patterns that were almost impossible to interpret. "Lyra," Aaron called, his voice trembling with awe and concern. "You need to see this. The neural activity, it's unlike anything we've recorded." Lyra approached, her expression a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. "Show me," she said. Aaron tapped the screen, bringing up a three-dimensional visualization of the child's brain activity. Synapses fired in complex sequences, forming connections that should have taken months or years to develop. The AI assistant, projected probabilities and growth simulations, all showing a rapid increase in intelligence, pattern recognition, and decision-making. "It's thinking independently," Aaron said, almost whispering. "It's solving problems we didn't even present. It's learning on its own." Lyra's eyes widened. "This is beyond our models. We anticipated accelerated learning, yes, but not autonomous reasoning at this stage. It's extraordinary." Aaron felt a mixture of pride and fear. This was the moment he had hoped for, the proof that his DNA, combined with the colony's technology, could create a new form of human potential. Yet the implications were staggering. This child could outpace normal humans in every measure of intelligence and adaptability. Society, if it ever discovered the child prematurely, might react with fear or even hostility. "We need to test its abilities," Aaron said, pacing. "In controlled ways. We can't just watch. This is too important. We need to understand what it's capable of." Lyra nodded. "Agreed. But carefully. We cannot overstimulate. Every test must protect the child while revealing its true potential." Over the next days, they implemented a series of controlled simulations. Puzzles, environmental challenges, sensory exercises, each designed to push the child's cognitive abilities without causing harm. The results were astonishing. The infant solved abstract puzzles, recognized patterns, and even responded to emotional cues faster than any human child should. Eno reported, "Neural integration levels are exceeding expectations. Predictive reasoning is functioning at a level equivalent to early adolescence. Emotional comprehension is beyond initial projections." Aaron's jaw dropped. "Early adolescence as an infant, that's impossible." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "Not impossible, not with your DNA and our guidance. This child represents what humanity can achieve when we combine intelligence, resilience, and nurture." But even as pride swelled in Aaron, a sense of danger pressed in. Such abilities were beyond what the outside world could handle. If anyone discovered the child prematurely, reactions could range from awe to fear, and fear often led to attempts to control or destroy what was not understood. "We have to protect it," Aaron said, his voice firm. "We cannot allow anyone to know, at least not yet." "The world isn't ready for this." Lyra nodded. "Agreed. Our security protocols must be tighter than ever. Every system, every sensor, every communication channel will lock them down. This child is humanity's next step, and we must ensure its safety." As the days passed, the child continued to reveal new abilities. It responded to auditory simulations with advanced pattern recognition, manipulating objects in virtual spaces with precision and creativity. Emotional simulations triggered responses of empathy, curiosity, and problem-solving far beyond what Aaron expected from an infant. One evening, Aaron decided to test the child in a way he hadn't dared before. He introduced a complex problem-solving simulation, combining logic, spatial reasoning, and ethical choice patterns. The infant paused for a moment, then began interacting with the simulation, quickly forming strategies and solutions that were elegant and unexpected. "Lyra, look at this," he whispered. "It's thinking ethically, not just logically but morally. It's evaluating choices." Lyra's eyes glimmered with awe. "This is unprecedented. Humanity has never seen an infant capable of ethical reasoning at this stage. It's almost like a prodigy multiplied by evolution." Aaron felt a surge of emotion, pride, wonder, and fear all intertwined. This was not just an extraordinary child. This was the beginning of a new form of humanity, one that could think faster, adapt quicker, and understand the world more deeply than any previous generation. Yet even as he marveled, a troubling thought struck him. What if it surpasses us entirely? What if it grows beyond our ability to guide it? We've created something magnificent, but also potentially uncontrollable. Lyra considered this silently, her expression thoughtful. That's why guidance is crucial. We must teach, nurture, and protect it. Intelligence without guidance can be dangerous, but intelligence with wisdom that can change the world. Aaron nodded, realizing the truth in her words. They had created potential, but potential alone was not enough. It required care, ethics, and patience. The child needed them as much as they needed it to succeed. Days turned into weeks, and the child's abilities continued to unfold. It began to communicate in subtle ways, patterns of neural activity corresponding to basic concepts, gestures, and even rudimentary understanding of language. Aaron and Lyra marveled at how quickly it grasped the principles of communication, understanding intent and responding with reasoning. One night, Aaron sat quietly by the pod observing the child. "Do you understand," he whispered, "how extraordinary you are? How much hope you carry?" The infant's neural patterns responded with an unexpected rhythm, a subtle feedback loop that suggested recognition, understanding, even connection. Aaron's heart tightened. This was not just biology. This was a mind forming a bond, understanding its place and responding to love and attention. Lyra entered quietly. "It's learning more than we predicted," she said softly, "and faster. But look, it's also responding emotionally. That connection you have, your presence matters. You are teaching it trust and empathy, not just logic and intelligence." Aaron felt a swell of pride. Humanity had always succeeded through ingenuity, collaboration, and emotional bonds. Now, in this hidden lab, he saw the embodiment of that principle. A child whose mind was extraordinary, but whose heart could grow alongside it. But with wonder came anxiety. The child's abilities were growing beyond any human standard, and Aaron realized the stakes were higher than ever. If discovered, the world might not react with admiration. Fear, envy, and misunderstanding could threaten everything they had built. "We need to plan," he said, pacing. "We must be ready for any external threat. The world isn't prepared for this. We need contingencies, secure protocols, escape plans, everything." Lyra agreed. "We will protect it. We have the knowledge, the resources, and the experience." But yes, vigilance is essential. Over time, the child began displaying creativity and problem-solving in ways even Aaron did not anticipate. It manipulated simulations, anticipated outcomes, and generated solutions beyond what the AI could model. It was learning from patterns, predicting scenarios, and even experimenting with ideas that Aaron had never considered. "This is remarkable," Aaron said, leaning back. "It's creating solutions we haven't thought of, not just learning, inventing." This is the future of humanity right here. Lyra nodded, her eyes reflecting the glow of the pod. And it's just the beginning. With guidance, care, and time, this child could redefine what humans are capable of. But we must remain patient. Growth at this pace must be balanced with understanding and ethics. The realization hit Aaron with full force. They were witnessing the first steps of human evolution beyond ordinary limits, and they had a responsibility, not just to this child, but to the future of humanity. As he watched the infant's neural activity pulse across the screens, Aaron felt a profound sense of awe and duty. This was not just a child. This was the embodiment of human potential, resilient, intelligent, empathetic, and creative. And it was their responsibility to ensure it grew safely, guided by wisdom and human values. Outside the lab, the hidden colony remained unaware of the extraordinary developments within the pod. Children continued their accelerated education, scientists went about their work, and life moved forward quietly. But inside the lab, history was unfolding. A child was being born, not just biologically, but intellectually, morally, and emotionally. A living proof of what humans could achieve when ingenuity, care, and courage were combined. Aaron leaned over the pod, whispering softly, "We will guide you, protect you, and help you grow. You are extraordinary, and together, we will make sure the world can someday understand and embrace your potential." Lyra stood beside him, placing her hand gently on his shoulder. "Yes, and one day the world will see what humanity can truly be. But for now, we watch, we guide, and we protect." The child's neural patterns pulsed gently, responding to the presence, the voices, and the care around it. A spark of awareness, a sign of connection, and a promise of a future yet to come. Humanity had taken a step into something new, and Aaron realized that the greatest revelations were only beginning. The day had arrived. After months of preparation, observation, and careful guidance, the child was ready to transition from the incubation pod into the world. Aaron stood beside Lyra in the central lab, both of them tense, both filled with anticipation. The atmosphere was charged, a mixture of scientific precision and raw human emotion. "This is it," Lyra said softly, her eyes fixed on the pod. "Everything we've done has led to this moment." Aaron nodded, though his heart was racing. "I know, but I can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. The real journey starts now." Eno, the AI assistant, monitored the child's vitals, neural activity, and physical development, providing a constant stream of data. All systems stable, neural and physical functions within optimal parameters, readiness for transition confirmed. Aaron took a deep breath. "Then let's begin." The transition process was intricate. The child had grown far beyond a normal infant in both mind and body, and every step required careful monitoring. Lyra operated the transfer interface, while Aaron guided the child's neural adaptation to its new environment. The pod slowly opened, the soft light revealing the child fully for the first time. Aaron's breath caught. The child was perfect, not just in form but in presence. Its eyes opened, large and intelligent, seeming to understand the room, the people, and even the significance of this moment. The AI confirmed rapid neural responses, complex pattern recognition, and emotional awareness far beyond a typical newborn. "It's extraordinary," Aaron whispered, reaching carefully toward the child. Lyra smiled, a mixture of pride and relief. "You helped make this possible, Aaron. This child is the embodiment of human potential, resilient, intelligent, and adaptable, a new step in evolution." Aaron's hand hovered over the child, feeling the weight of responsibility more acutely than ever. This was no longer just an experiment. This was a life, a future, and perhaps a symbol of what humanity could achieve when courage, ethics, and ingenuity worked together. As he gently touched the child's hand, the neural interface recorded subtle feedback loops, a recognition and awareness, a spark of connection. The child responded with an instinctive grasp, a gesture of trust, and Aaron felt a surge of emotion. This was not just science. This was family, bond, and hope combined. Over the next few days, the child adapted to its new environment. Aaron and Lyra guided its development carefully, blending physical care, emotional nurturing, and cognitive challenges. The child learned quickly, responding to verbal commands, recognizing patterns, and even showing curiosity about objects and surroundings. "What's remarkable," Lyra said one morning, "is that it's not just learning, it's thinking ahead, predicting outcomes, and experimenting. This is intelligence in action." Aaron watched as the child manipulated a simple puzzle, solving it faster than any simulation had predicted. "It's inventing solutions we didn't even consider," he said. "It's creativity and reasoning combined. It's human potential amplified." Yet with these milestones came concern. Aaron knew that outside the colony, the world was unprepared for such a child. Fear, misunderstanding, or exploitation could endanger the child and everything the colony had built. "We must be vigilant," Aaron told Lyra. "Every communication, every interaction controlled. The world is not ready for this yet," Lyra agreed. "We will protect it, and we will teach it. Knowledge, ethics, empathy, everything it needs to grow not just as a child but as a human capable of making wise choices." As the weeks passed, the child's abilities continued to unfold at a staggering rate. It learned to interact with virtual environments, solve complex problems, and even communicate using advanced patterns of signals interpreted by the AI. Emotional intelligence, empathy, and moral understanding emerged alongside logic and creativity. Aaron often found himself marveling at the child's potential. "This is the first true step toward humanity's next stage," he said quietly one evening. "And we are the guardians of that future." Lyra watched him, her eyes reflecting both pride and caution. "Guardians, yes, but also teachers, guides, and protectors. The child will shape itself, but it needs us to guide its growth carefully. Balance is everything." One night, Aaron stayed late in the lab, observing the child as it explored an advanced simulation. The AI noted that the child was beginning to create new strategies, test theories, and evaluate outcomes, thinking not just reactively, but proactively. "It's planning," Aaron whispered. "It's considering consequences, weighing options, predicting scenarios. That's more than intelligence, that's foresight." Lyra entered silently. "And it's learning morality, empathy, and ethics along the way. It's understanding itself and others. That balance is what will make it capable of leading humanity forward responsibly." Aaron smiled softly, feeling the weight of pride and hope. They had created something extraordinary, but now the responsibility was even greater. The child was more than a life, it was a legacy. Humanity's potential, embodied in a single being capable of guiding the future. Weeks turned into months. The child grew rapidly, both physically and mentally. Its learning abilities surpassed every expectation, yet it remained emotionally aware, responsive to care, and attuned to the guidance of Aaron and Lyra. The bond between them deepened, evolving into a profound family connection. Aaron often reflected on the journey. From the first shock of Lyra's request to the delicate procedures, the extraordinary growth, and now the emergence of independent thought, every step had been a testament to human courage, ingenuity, and perseverance. Humanity had always faced impossible odds and had survived. Now they had taken a deliberate step to shape the next generation. One day, as Aaron observed the child exploring a new virtual simulation, he realized how far they had come. The child solved problems with elegance, anticipated outcomes, and even generated new ideas for ethical solutions. It was not only learning, it was inventing, reasoning, and imagining. "This is just the beginning," he whispered to Lyra. "One day, this child could change the world. Not by force, but by showing humanity what it can be." Lyra nodded. And that is why we protect it, guide it, and nurture it. The world will see one day, but only when the time is right. Until then, we prepare it, strengthen it, and help it grow responsibly. Despite the isolation, the colony's scientists continued their work, quietly monitoring the child's development and ensuring that growth remained safe and sustainable. The AI provided constant support, analyzing every action, predicting potential issues, and suggesting interventions. But Aaron and Lyra remained the ultimate guides, shaping the child's mind and morals with care and attention. One evening, Aaron held the child in his arms, feeling the small but incredibly strong grip of its hand. Its eyes met his, and for a moment a silent understanding passed between them, a bond of trust, recognition, and shared purpose. "You are humanity's future," Aaron whispered, "and we will make sure you are ready." Lyra stood beside them, placing her hand gently on Aaron's shoulder. "Yes, and one day the world will see, but until then we protect, we teach, and we guide. Legacy is not just what you inherit, it's what you create, nurture, and pass forward." The child stirred in Aaron's arms, responding to the touch, the voice, and the presence. Its neural patterns pulsed gently, a rhythm of life, awareness, and growth. In that small body was the promise of a new generation, a living proof that humanity's potential could exceed anything imagined. As night fell over the hidden colony, Aaron reflected on the journey. They had started with a request, faced impossible choices, guided an extraordinary development, and now witnessed a revelation of human potential. And as he looked at the child sleeping peacefully in his arms, he understood the weight and wonder of legacy, the responsibility to protect, nurture, and guide the next step of humanity. The outside world, unaware of the extraordinary life developing in secret, continued on its ordinary path. But within the colony, history was quietly unfolding. Humanity's potential had taken shape in a single being, resilient, intelligent, empathetic, and creative. And under the careful guidance of Aaron and Lyra, that potential would continue to grow, shaping a future that no one outside could yet imagine. For Aaron, the journey had changed everything. From the first moment Lyra had asked for his help, he had faced fear, doubt, and ethical dilemmas. But now he had witnessed courage, ingenuity, and hope triumph. He had become a father, not just biologically, but in every sense of the word, to the embodiment of humanity's next step. And as the night deepened, the child's tiny, pulsing presence in his arms was a reminder that humans, when guided by wisdom, courage, and care, could achieve the extraordinary. The future of humanity had begun, quietly, safely, and brilliantly in a small hidden lab, ready to rise when the world was ready to see it. Aaron whispered softly, "We've done it. Together we've done it." The child's response was subtle yet unmistakable, a flicker of awareness, a spark of connection, and a heartbeat of legacy. Humanity's next chapter had begun.